Easy. All right. Well, I'm grateful that you wanted to have a conversation, so thank you. And I'm also really interested in like your story and how you got and found the barbell and started using that, and then went to Worlds, which is fucking insane. So
Thank
congratulations.
you.
And
Thank you for
tell me your
inviting me.
story.
From the beginning,
You can
from
you can
when?
tell me
Like,
as much of the story as you want.
okay. Well, I started doing gymnastics at the age of 2. And then I got injured when I was like 13 or 14 years old. I had a concussion, uh, so I wasn't able to train for like maybe a year, because I always when I tried to come back, all the symptoms came back, so I had to stop again. So I did like this a few times, and then um, I just decided to stop. So I started doing track. I did CrossFit. I was also training at the gym at the same time, so I was a lot active.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was training a bit bodybuilding style, but also a bit of powerlifting, I guess. So uh, one day a coach approached me in a gym and he told me I had good potential for powerlifting. So I started. Um, Actually, I told him I could do a meet, because he proposed me to do a meet and I agreed. He helped me do that first meet, um, and then I took a coach, another one, because he wasn't really he was like an old coach from the gym, but he wasn't really like, I didn't hired him as a coach, so he was just helping me. And then I started with a coach in 2018, I think, and I did like provincials, nationals, and then worlds that year. So
Wow.
yeah.
Just jumped straight into it and was able to qualify for the World Championships, which is insane.
Yeah, I guess so.
God damn. Can you remember the numbers you were lifting when you first started?
When I first started, I think I did like uh 225 for like 10 reps on squat. Like that was where when I before I started competing.
That's
And
pounds, right?
then what?
Is that pounds?
Yeah, pounds, not not kilos. That would be insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for bench, I was doing like 135 for 10 reps maybe.
Mhm.
And deadlift, I did like uh, one rep with 315.
Ah, cool.
Uh,
So that's like 61, 62 bench, like 102 squat for 10, and then also like 315 is like what, like 143, something like that, 143 kilos deadlift, I think,
I have no
off the
idea.
top of my head. But
I'll just like,
they're crazy numbers to start off with.
yeah, but like I had a big gymnastics background and I was already like training a bit with like dumbbells at home and
Mhm.
at school too, for gymnastics. So I had already some training in me.
Mm.
Or so like, yeah, but I was definitely uh like naturally strong, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something that would be genetically there as a predisposition for you. But like the gymnastics portion, like, you know, that's so good for kids and development and body awareness and proprioception and strength, and, you know, like developing like even strength through like your tendons and ligaments and all that. And I've seen so many people, right, over the years of coaching, and the best ones that I've taken to things so quickly and end up progressing so far have been the ones that I've done gymnastics as a kid. Like always.
It teaches us a lot of things. And like, even like when you look at Olympic sports or like CrossFit, like usually there's a lot of sports in there that like the top athletes used to be gymnasts.
Yeah.
Like at CrossFit games or things like that, it's usually like all the gymnasts.
I would love to see like some sort of, even if it's just like body weight training, right? It doesn't have to be get you on the rings or the pommel horse or the floor or anything. It could just be like moving around, moving your own body weight. I'd love to see that coming into like primary schools and high schools. I think that would be a really cool thing. And I think it would not only like help people develop as like people, but also like, you know, the level of athleticism within sport will just end up skyrocketing.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that'd be really cool. Although, you know, I'm not in parliament. I can't make these decisions. I can only talk about them on something called a podcast.
Yeah, it would be a cool thing.
So what are your numbers now? So comparing from the start, what are they now?
Last time, like my best comp lift or like training lift?
We'll go like the best lifts that you've ever done.
Okay. Best squat is 405 for 2 reps, I believe.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's okay. And then bench, I did like 230 for 3 reps. And deadlifts, I think it's 435 for like 3 reps, if I remember correctly.
That's insane. Yeah. And what do you weigh?
Yeah, it's that. In competition, I weigh like 63 kilograms. But I'm like 66 usually, maybe.
So it's like those numbers are impressive, right? Like seriously impressive. And then you have to take into consideration that you would weigh 63 kilos when you do it, and then that's, you know, you're tripling body weight squat pretty much.
Yeah, almost, I think. Maybe. I don't know.
Like, I have this conversation a lot, right? Because you see people lift some insane amounts of weight compared to their body weight, which is incredible, right? But then you got to relate it to like everyday people that come into the gym and kind of just work out for general fitness, right? Like in modern society, they don't even need to know what 100 kilo feels like. They will never need to move anything that weighs 100 kilos in their life, right? So now they watch a 63 kilo woman put 180 something kilos on her back, sit down and stand it up. Like they legitimately have like a disconnect and they can't understand how that weight feels. And I think it's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess so. I'm just used to it, so I'm like, it's like normal to me.
180 is normal. Really?
Yeah, and but I kind of compare myself to like usually men or that I hang out with or that I know, because that like there's usually more men in the gym than like women, or at least at my gym. So I kind of, when I started, I always compared myself to these people. So that's why I have like high standards for myself.
Well, that's good though, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
kind of using the same bars. And yeah, I love it. I love the fact that, you know, a barbell will weigh 20 kilos and you could pick it up or I could pick it up and it's still going to weigh 20 kilos. It doesn't really give a fuck who's got their hands on it. You know what I mean? I think that
Yeah,
aspect
exactly.
of lifting is amazing.
Yeah.
So what's it like then? So, because I'm never going to understand what it's like for a female to walk into a gym that is predominantly like males within that room. So what's that like, and how can we improve that to try and get more ladies in the gym and especially into like strength spots?
That's a good question because I personally really do not care. Um, and it never affect me except when there's like old creeps that come
Yeah,
and
yeah.
talk to me and I are like, as long as they're like respectful, that's okay. Um, but sometimes I don't know, it's like a bit weird.
Mm.
So like maybe not be a weird creep person that like says weird things to me or to other girls. Other
You'd
than
hope that would be
that, I
common
don't.
sense, right?
What?
You'd hope that would be common sense and no one would do that. Like,
Yeah, but it usually is. But some people just don't have that, I think. um,
yeah.
but like, yeah. But in general, I think people are okay. Like I never had some people come up to me and say like really weird shit, but I know it happens to some other girls. So like that's one of the main thing. Other than that, I don't know really how we could make it better for like uh, other women to feel like maybe safer
Mm-hmm.
in gyms where it's mostly men.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I think people like yourself that are naturally just breaking you know, stereotypes or misconceptions or anything, right? Just by going in and squatting 180 something kilos. And people are just like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's not supposed to be possible. And, you know, not really giving a shit, doing your thing and then leaving. I think that in itself is helping change the tide and pulling more ladies into the weight room of like, oh, okay, you know, you don't look like a monster
Yeah.
and you're lifting 180 kilos. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
maybe,
I hope so.
you know, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, but like that's usually what women think. Like a lot of girls come and talk to me and are like, "Oh, I'd like to look like you, but I don't want to look buff, so I won't like uh I don't want to lift heavy." But I'm like, "Okay, but I lift heavy, so like kind of heavy." So I'm like that won't make you like look manly or whatever.
Hmm. And heavy subjective, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
sure we all hear it all the time. It's like, I don't want to lift that. It's heavy. I was like, no. Like something heavy to you might be really heavy to me, or something heavy to me might be super light to you. You know what I mean? It's like, no.
Mhm.
Like stick in your own lane. Like this is legitimately the only competition you got is the mirror and the person staring back at you. And
Yeah.
kind of staying in that lane rather than getting caught up in, oh, okay, this person's got that kilos on the bar, I've got to go more.
Exactly. And sometimes it's kind of hard to not like compare yourself maybe
Yeah.
in the gym,
Mm.
but it's the best way to progress is always to compare yourself to like the person you were maybe yesterday and try
Mm-hmm.
to be better in the gym.
Mm-hmm. I know it sounds like super cliche, but
Yeah.
it's true though, right? Especially
Yeah,
in the weight
exactly.
room. You know, your
Yeah.
progress is going to be so slow, and you know, after you get past those newbie gains, like it's going to be monotonous. Like you're just going to have to come in. You're barely going to see any progress day to day. Well, that's the game that we play, right? And we just kind of enjoy kicking the shit out of ourselves with a barbell.
hmm Especially if you've been like training for many years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never had a plateau yet, I think, because like I never really was like, oh, my weights are not going up or things like that. Like it always improved from month to month. So, but I've been like doing powerlifting for 4 years now, so it's not a lot. So that's maybe why I never experienced that.
That's good though. Like enjoy that time, you know, like strength sports are
Yeah.
is a long thing. Like it's
Yeah.
you know, people compare strength sports with like football, or do you call it football or soccer?
Which one is which for you? Because we've got both over here. Soccer
Um
is like with your feet, and
yeah.
football is the with the ball you
Oh
throw.
no. We don't
Okay.
we don't play that one. Like
Okay.
yeah, like European football, soccer. You know, you've got a short lifespan in that sport, right? You know, you on average you're gonna maybe make 30 and then you're gonna be done, you know, because 17,
Yeah.
18, 19, 20 year olds are coming in and they're taking over, right? But in strength sports, it's like you're still fucking developing, you're still learning that skill, you're still switching on the nervous system, you're still getting bigger and stronger. It's like it takes a long time. You know, people are hitting their
Exactly.
peak at like 35, 40.
Yeah. And like I went at a meet this weekend, and there was a man of 50 years old, I think,
Wow.
and he benched 600. So
Fuck.
that's fucking strong.
What's that in kilos? Hold on.
Maybe like 300 kilos.
600
I'm not sure.
divided by 2.2. 272. 273.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Was he equipped? Did he have like a shirt on?
I don't think so, but he was a bench only. So,
Fuck
but
me.
yeah, he was like 50 years old, out benching every 20, 30 years old dude
I love
at
that.
the meet.
I
Yeah.
love that so much. That's amazing. You know, it's
Yeah.
someone that purely does it for the love of it. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, we had a like an amateur kind of a anyone can kind of jump in powerlifting competition that we hosted at the gym 2 weekends ago, 3 weekends ago maybe. And there was a bench only that came in and attempted 200 kilos. And like he ended up missing it, but I mean he got 3/4 of the way of the lift. He just couldn't lock it out, unfortunately. But like seeing 200 kilos, right? I know how much
Mm.
that feels. But now lying on my back and taking it off a rack,
Yeah.
that's insane. And now add another
Yeah,
73
really.
kilos on it. Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That some people would say that's an excessive amount of kilos. Other people would say it's not enough.
Yeah, true.
That's the thing, right? Like, you know, I'm more of a weightlifter. My brother's the powerlifter. He likes the SBD. I like to, you know, snatch and clean and jerk. I only do 6 lifts rather than 9. 9's too much. Um,
Yeah, it's a lot.
it's a lot, especially on a meet, right? It'll take you all day.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
true.
like the first thing I was ever told, and I'll always go back to it because it makes me laugh, is all right, Alex, you want to learn weightlifting? I was like, yeah, I want to learn weightlifting. Like, cool. Rule number 1, you'll always be shit. I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, I appreciate that.
Nice.
It's like rule number 2, cool. Now we can like progress it. And it, you know, it just goes to you'll never get the perfect lift,
Mhm.
right? If something will always either feel or look a little bit off. And then even if it is, it's not the perfect lift because you can add another kilo to it. And that will inevitably just keep going up, right? We'll never reach that next kilo because there'll always be something in your head that'll be like, oh, I can do, you know, 274, 275, 300. And you can't really
Yeah.
you can't get out of that like spiral, but I find it fun. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
just
of
weird.
course it's no, but I think every person that does like maybe powerlifting or weightlifting, or even just live at the gym for fun but likes to lift heavy,
Mm.
kind of likes that, I think.
Mm.
I think it's what kind of motivates us
Yeah,
to
it's humbling
lift.
too, right?
Yeah, of course. It's never enough, so like
Yeah,
yeah, it's something.
I think humility is something that everyone needs at the moment. I I agree with people giving themselves self-confidence and bigging themselves up and all that. Yeah, but like you're also no better than anyone else. And
Yeah, that's true.
there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, I am absolute hot shit. You're like, well, you know,
Calm down a bit.
yeah, calm down, dude. Like, there's a lot of people on this planet, and they deserve just as much as you do. And again, I think the gym is a beautiful like metaphor of life. As you go in, and it's like 100 kilos will always be 100 kilos. If I could feel amazing or I could feel shit, and it will always be 100 kilos, right? And then obviously you've got 101, 102, and you can keep going up. And that like humility that the gym kind of provides, I think everyone needs it.
Yeah, but I think sometimes people it kind of does the opposite for some people. Like
Explain.
going at the gym. I don't know, like maybe like some people go at the gym to improve themselves, and then it kind of does the opposite, then like uh humbling them.
You
I don't
mean
know
they
if
get
you
like egotistical?
yeah, maybe a bit.
Okay, okay, okay. I
But that's
see where
maybe
you're from.
more with people who train with for appearance maybe,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
or even like with powerlifting. I think it can do that a bit, like people who are like, oh, I'm stronger than you, so I'm better. So that it
Okay.
depends. Yeah. I don't think that's true, but like yeah, some people are that way, I think.
Yeah, that is a very good point. That is actually a very good point. Yeah, there are a hell of a lot of people like that. I
Mhm.
guess I don't know. I don't relate to it. I can't feel that emotion of like, oh, I'm stronger than you, so I'm better than you. Like I don't get that. I don't
Yeah,
put
I
two and two
don't
together.
either.
Um, but yes, there are some absolute assholes out there.
Yeah, really. There's all kinds of people in the gym, but yeah.
Yeah, you see some crazy characters.
Yeah, but it's like everywhere. Like some people will be nice people, some people will be bad people, and it's like everywhere.
Yeah, headphones on. I'm just gonna squat 180 something.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite lift? SPD.
Um, I think I like squat the most just because it was my best lift.
Hmm.
But I like deadlift too, and sometimes I like bench too. But maybe if I had to pick, I maybe choose squat. Yeah.
Do you low bar?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love her.
And sumo?
Yeah, also.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm cheating.
No, 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 no. I don't believe that.
Yeah,
Like
I don't believe either, but
it's
it's just
completely different. Like
yeah, exactly.
I I agree with, there a need for both of them. There are.
Mhm.
I also agree that some athletes that suit sumo a hell of a lot better than they suit conventional. Um, I do think everyone needs to be able to pull something conventional, like because you can't have a weak
Yeah.
link in your low back. You know what I mean? Um, but at the same time, I'm going to play devil's advocate of like weightlifters need to sumo more.
Weightlifters. You think it could improve their like snatch or clean and jerk?
Yeah, I think it carries over really well, especially if you do like deficit sumo. So you like stand on plates. You teach a little bit more of an upright torso.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
develop a little bit more like adductor, glute strength. You can become wickedly like quad dominant if you just weightlift, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously we do high bar, we front squat a lot. Obviously we snatch, clean and jerk, and then that's pretty much it, with a little bit of like
Yeah.
accessory stuff, maybe a little bit. But I think adding in like a deficit sumo, and even with a little bit of a little bit of a shrug and a little bit of a pull at the end, I think it'd be really beneficial. And that I actually stole from the Chinese weightlifting team. I'm not going to say that was my own idea, but I mean they're good for a reason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We won't talk about the aid that they might be getting. It's just all the chicken and broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll leave that one there.
Yeah, on the side.
How's the hip?
I was injured in May, I think. And then it kind of went away and was like flaring up sometimes, but it was okay. Uh, Only thing is it was affecting my depth on squat, I think. So that was bad for worlds. But other than that, it wasn't really painful. It's just that it was um I wasn't able to go uh as deep as I used to.
Hmm. It's shit and it sucks, but like these things happen, and you'll end up
Yeah.
you'll end up bouncing back 100%, and kind of learning from that experience, right? And doing whatever PT stuff that you need to do to heal up that hip, and then just crush whatever's next year.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Hmm. What is the next competition you got your eyes on?
um I don't have a competition in mind yet. um I kind of I'm kind of like in a reflection right now.
Yeah.
So
Understand.
yeah, I don't know yet. Yeah.
Yeah, chill out, take some downtime, like figure some things out. We live in a world that's so quick. Like everything is like from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Like you need to be able to take some time and de-stress, and cool down and calm down and figure out the next move. It's like chess.
Hmm.
I love chess. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed.
Really?
Yeah.
I play like maybe 2 times.
What, in your life?
What?
It like ever, twice, ever.
Yeah,
Oh
twice.
wow. I'm, I mean, each to their own, right? I think it should be in skills.
In schools?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because you learn a lot, right? You learn a lot about like forward thinking, reading the opponent, like every move that's been done, like the kind of probability changes and the subsequent moves change, and like strategy needs to adapt on the fly. And I just think kind of giving it to kids is a really beneficial thing, and it also teaches them to sit down and concentrate on one thing. Like
Mhm.
I think we're talking on technology, okay, so it can't be that bad, but kids like kind of growing up around it have always like, oh, okay, this thing's going, the TV's on, this thing's going to, I was going to say the radio, but no one does a fucking radio anymore, let's be honest. um and it just teaches them to like, sit down and concentrate rather than splitting their mind like in a million one different directions and half-assing everything. They just plow their energy into one thing. I had a kid that, not my own kid, a kid that I coached,
Mhm.
who had like real bad Tourette's, ADHD, ADD, and pretty much the alphabet. Really, really sound guy, right? Really cool guy, but would, spurt out into some anger quite often. And we'd sit down. I coached him, so I got him training and whatever, but we'd sit down and play a couple of games of chess. And it I'm obviously going to beat him. And it teaches him to like feel that and figure it out rather than just like throwing punches.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important. I'm not that good. But yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, I see why you say that. Yeah. But I think a lot of things in life can teach those things, but it just depends what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think everything, I don't think classrooms is the only way to learn things, more
No, of course.
extracurricular, more gymnastic stuff, bringing it in for a younger age. Like you learn so much more than just kind of like the physical benefits, like team-based sports, for example. I played rugby, and I think the physical benefit I got from rugby was the least. I think the discipline, like the teamwork, the working under pressure, the dealing with nerves and anxiety, the like reading the game, the learning my role. I think all of that, like hard work and off the pitch, I think all of that was more beneficial than the actual like, oh, okay, yeah, I just got huge.
Yeah, because these things are like actual things you can use in your everyday life, and that can help with like your future. So I think, yeah, you're right on that.
Yeah, relating it to everyday life. I actually bumped into my old rugby coach in New Zealand, which was really weird.
Really?
Yeah, I was working in a restaurant in Auckland, and I was just like serving breakfast as like a little waiter. I have no idea what I was doing, right? I was kind of figuring this thing out. And no one could understand a word that I was saying. But anyway, serving breakfast, and I literally plate in either hand, walking by a table. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing here? And yeah, it was a very strange moment, but it highlighted that I still to this day like apply lessons that he taught me for rugby for the pitch, but I apply it to everyday life. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it was a bit of a small world.
Yeah, really. That's really special though that you bumped into him like over there.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird one, but it's quite a comforting story or a memory. Quite a comforting memory. I have to ask, the tattoo on your hand, what does it say?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It says love yourself first.
I honestly think that it looks fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I choose like this this language because I thought it was beautiful. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna take this writing, and I didn't want everyone to be able to read it, or I didn't want it to be like normal letters, like in French or in English. So that's why I chose this.
Is it
this language.
Arabic?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks kind of Arabian. I think that's the term. I'm not really too sure. No, I've never really seen the placement of a tattoo on a hand like that before, or in that direction anyway. Apart from you see the lions or the fucking roses on people's hands, and you're like, okay, it's the same as everyone else. But I hope it means something to you. I think it's really cool. It's like, holy shit, that's really cool. Obviously, I had no idea what it said, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, but actually, like I bumped into like maybe 4 Arabic people, and they all were able to read it. So that was
really?
like, yeah, they were like, "Oh, does it mean that thing?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I'm happy to know that there isn't any like error in
Yeah.
how the person like
That
right,
is
because it's a French person that write it. So I was like, she didn't even knew what she was writing. So
really.
I told her, but yeah, I told her what it meant, but she wasn't able to read like you and me. So.
Wow, like tattoo artists are crazy. Like the being able to draw is one thing, right? And then being able to like draw it on skin is insane. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that is so much talent.
Yeah, I'd be so like stressed to draw on someone's body. Like if you do a mistake, it's permanent. So
Yeah, it's not really going anywhere.
yeah, I will be so stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not for me.
No, I can't draw stick men, so that's not a job that I can do. No,
Yeah, not a good idea, maybe.
no. I'm a word guy. I write words, I don't draw. It means I can sit down and just think about things and, you know, not do anything for a day and be able to write a sentence and call it, you know, writing.
But that's cool too. It's two different things, but both are nice, I think. So.
Like I'm really, really big on, first of all, people getting like a physical thing. So do something physical. Obviously, you
Mm-hmm.
powerlift, I weightlift. Some people might do fucking Zumba or whatever, spin class. Doesn't matter. Like they do something, right? And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
also really big on people doing something outside of, you know, the physical scene, you know, because we can only ever train so much in a day. And if you leave the
Yeah.
gym or, you know, stop running or whatever you're doing, get out of the pool, like there's still more hours of the day, right? That can't just be taken up by
Mm-hmm.
work. And you need like other passions, right? So what do you do?
Oh, why do I do? Um, I'm actually in school right now. I study psychology
Wow.
at university, and other than that, yeah, I train, but that was old news.
Yeah.
And then I it depends. I also like to read, but I read like psychology books or like um, yeah, mainly psychology books. So it isn't really different from my university program.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also do piano, which is a thing
Wow.
you may not know.
That's super
Yeah,
cool.
and yeah, that's cool, I guess. And that's pretty much it, I think. But I like to do a lot of things. I just don't have enough time to do everything I like. But yeah.
Mm. What type of psychology is it? Is it just normal psychology, like sports psychology?
It's I right now it's general psychology, and then I have to do like um I don't know the terms in English because it's not the same thing in it's not even the same school path that you
I
have to
mean,
take. Like we have a
you can say it in
thing
French.
between in French,
Yeah,
but
yeah, why
it's
not?
like maîtrise, but like but whatever. There's like for 3 years of university, and then you have another 2 years of university. Uh, that is like not the PhD, but it's an undergrad too.
Masters.
Um, yeah, master's. That's what I was searching for, and that would be in sports psychology because there's no like before that there's no specialization in sports psychology. So yeah, but I
Okay.
want to do that.
Oh wow, that's a lot of studying.
Yeah, a bit.
Fuck.
But I know that's what I like other than training, so
Wow.
I'll do it.
I mean, hats off, like people that can, you know, grind through university and study. Like I legitimately couldn't make 2 months. Like I'm not the most academic person on the planet.
Yeah, I hate every minute of it, but I'll get through it.
Wow. You're really bigging it up for me. Like, I really want to go study now.
Yeah, really? But what would you study if you were like, if you were gonna study something?
Chiropractic.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I
that's nice. It's interesting.
love chiropractic. I think I would really love doing the job. It's a
Mm-hmm.
fucking lot of studying and like a
Yeah.
lot of hours, like practical wise. I'm more of a practical guy anyway. So that would kind of be up my alley. Yeah, I think I would say chiropractic. I love the whole psychology and the mind and figuring that out. But at this moment in time, I think it's too much textbook and sitting down and studying. I think that would just send me even more crazy than I am now. I need to be able to like,
I'm already crazy too. So.
yeah, we all are, right? Like the
Yeah,
best of
true.
us are mental.
Yeah, but I think everyone's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
But everyone doesn't show it exactly. So.
Yeah, 100%. You know, everyone just kind of lies to you and says they're normal.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to lie to you. I'm crazy. Yeah.
Same.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I love psychology. I think it's really interesting. I like, have you ever done people watching where you just like sit down at a cafe and you just watch people?
Do I do that? Is
Yeah.
it the question? No, no, I don't like. We don't really analyze people like, but I personally don't. But I use what I learn in my everyday life or with my relationships and everything. Uh, it's also really helpful, I think, for myself, but also in my relationships, or if I want to help someone I'm close to or whatever. Like I used to do that before my psychology classes. Like I always have been present for people that are close to me. But maybe it has helped me be a better helper for those people. I don't know. I hope so.
Well, I think so. Like, it enables you to kind of see the world through their eyes, right? And you kind of understand the way they think a little bit more because we're never truly going to be able to do that, right? But we can kind of come to terms with and see their perspective on things, right? Because I'm going to see the world a little bit differently than you are, and vice versa, right?
Yeah,
You're
of
going to see
course.
the world a bit differently than I am. And kind of acknowledging that fact and then trying to learn it then enables us to be able to kind of see what you see. And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I like studying that, so yeah.
It's
That's
also
why
quite scary.
I'm in school. But what?
It's quite scary.
Scary? Why?
So I deal with a lot of people, right? Because obviously I coach and have coached for a long ass time. So you get so many different people coming in, and as you kind of become a little bit more aware and not analyze people, but you start to learn a little bit more things and pick up as much along the way. You either start kind of understanding that people are absolutely insane, or
Yeah.
you're the person who's absolutely insane.
But we established that everyone was insane in a few minutes ago. So
Yeah. But it's like, am I the only one that's seeing this? Like, is no one else kind of seeing it? You're like, oh, okay. I'm the odd one
at
out.
least at least now we know where to. So
Yeah, I'm there. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Like I would be open to doing psychology. Okay, I'll put it that way. But it's a lot of studying, and
Yeah.
that's not me.
Yeah, but I think it's fascinating to like it kind of explain things you already know, but in a theoretical way instead of living it, maybe. Like it explains things you live in your everyday life. So for me, it helps me understand some kind of things, and I always been a really understanding person. Like I always, I rarely judge people. I was gonna say never, but we can never say never. So I rarely judge people. But like psychology really helped me. Like we never know what people have been through, and there's always a reason why they're that way. So I always keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think that's hit the nail on the head. I think that's also a beautiful explanation. And, you know, like we can kind of sit back and look at it from a different perspective and be like, no, that's crazy. Why are they doing that? Or why did they do that? But we don't actually know why, right? And kind of psychology allows you to dive into it and be like, oh, that's why, you know. I think as it sounds a little bit morbid and a little bit dark, but kind of studying the psychology of like, you know, murderers and serial killers and stuff, you can
That would be
actually,
really cool.
it's interesting, right?
Yeah, really.
Like,
I think I picked a class about that for next session, so I'm really excited for that one.
you know what the scary part is? And I actually
What?
might sound insane here. Right?
I don't think so. I think I know what you're gonna say.
A lot of it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but really, but I think everyone could be, but maybe not everyone, but like we all could go insane, but insane like in a more insane way. Like
Yes.
not insane like normal
Psychotic.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone could turn that way, like just like that.
100%.
Because of whatever reason it is. So yeah. So
I had a conversation with a clinical psychologist from New Zealand, right? And he was in like the field for like 20 years, and he literally turned around and was like, people need to realize that anybody within society could become like a murderer. Like you are just
exactly.
like a few steps away, and it just
and
go on.
exactly, and like people always judge those kind of people, but I'm like, you're not that far. Like you never know what could happen like tomorrow and like make you go just as psychotic as these people. So you could, you'd never know how you could turn out. So
desperation is a strange place, right? If you're forced into a corner that you don't want to be in, and metaphorically or literally a gun is to your head, you know, something weird's going to happen. You know, we can't judge that sat there with a coffee, you know, at like fucking 2 p.m. in the afternoon and it's nice and sunny outside. I can't judge that. Like I'm not in that position. It's the same reason why we can't really judge people in Ethiopia. I'm not there. I've never been there. I can't judge them, you know. The psychology of serial killers. Oh, it's made me want to like watch documentaries now.
I never watch like murder documentaries, or I watched one documentary and it was about like Ted Bundy, and now I'm scared. So I will never watch another documentary about serial killers again, because I live in a weird place where there's like trees. It's like a park beside my house, and it's like a bit isolated from like from the country, or I don't know how to explain it, but like there's like trees, a bunch of trees beside my house, and someone could like hide in there. And I usually like come home. I sometimes come home late, and usually with winter it's like really dark, like at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. So it's dark early, and I'm like, someone could hide in there and I could like get killed. So
wow.
Because of the I think like that because of the documentary, because they said that you had to be, it's usually not with people they know, but at least Ted Bundy wasn't. It was like with people that were just not at the right place at the right time. Or he also picked like young girls, I think. um but other than that, it was mainly because it was the wrong, you were at the wrong place at the wrong time. So
Yeah,
yeah, so now I'm,
that's why I don't watch horror movies.
yeah,
No,
really.
I'm not watching that. No way.
You're scared of like ghosts and things like that?
Oh, I don't fuck around with ghosts. No, 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 no. No, I've made a pact. Like, I don't mess with them, they don't mess with me. That's it. That's all we have. That's the contact that me and ghosts have. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, no, they don't exist and get fucked up by it. And I'm also not gonna go into a haunted house. That's not happening. No, no.
Yeah, I used to watch horror movies and not be scared. I don't know. When I was younger, I was like, nothing could scare me or whatever. I was like, I don't know. But now a lot of things scare me, but usually not that much, but like things like getting killed or things that could happen. Like I'm scared of that. Um, or maybe a little bit ghosts too. But other than that, I don't have a lot of fears. But it's I'm a lot more scared than when I was younger about like horror movies or documentaries. Yeah.
Well, like my mum is like a very spiritual person, right? And growing up,
Yeah.
she would, talk to me about a lot of things in the spiritual sense. And honest to God, she would say things and it would come true, right? It could be the most peculiar and obscure and left field things, and it would turn around and would become true. So I'm like, nah, like if you're some sort of witchcraft, right? And she believes in like ghosts and stuff and all that type of stuff. I'm like, nah, if you're witchcraft, I'm having nothing to do with it. All right. Because if they can get to you, they can get to me. And
yeah.
that's it. It's over.
Yeah, that's weird. Like I like to hear those stories, but then it scares me, so I'm not sure I like hearing about them. Like there's some weird shit happening to people and I'm like what the fuck? How is that even real?
Legit. It's weird. Like
Yeah.
she's African, right? She's West African. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's something there. She says it is. I don't know whether she's just absolutely lost her marbles and she's crazy. Well, in fact, she is crazy. Like we know that. But no, legit, we'll be like, oh, Alex, just to let you know, I'd pay attention to such and such in the next couple of months. What? What do you mean? It's like, oh no, someone's going to come into your life and an opportunity is going to come up, but it's not going to be what it says it's going to be.
Oh my
Like,
god.
okay.
I would be scared. This would like give me anxiety, like legit.
I'm sorry.
No, but like if someone told me that, I'll be really anxious. Like, is that making you anxious when she's telling you things like that?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. I'm kind of I'm very open. Like I live my life in a sense of the only thing I know is I know nothing. So,
Yeah.
I won't ever completely disregard anything. Well, never say never. But most of the things I will never just be like, nah, that's fucking bullshit, or that's 100% real, or
Yeah.
that's what I believe, or whatever. So I kind of like, yes, in a sense, it does make me anxious a lot of the times. But sometimes it's like kind of comforting because you're like, this may be true, this might not be true. This is kind of like her perception. I'll see what my perception is from this side. And we can have like quite like constructive and growth-esque kind of conversations where we just usually over multiple coffees, we just kind of like sit in a coffee shop it usually goes from like hysterically laughing to we're both like crying, and then we're both like screaming and getting really pissed off and whatever. And like 5 hours later, we leave and there's like 12 coffees behind us. But yeah, it can make me pretty anxious. But at the same time, it's like I have no idea, you know.
Yeah.
So
But uncertainty sometimes makes people anxious. So
yeah, I've learned to. So another one of me mother's fucking famous quotes is the only constant in life is change, which is quite
yeah.
paradoxical, right? The only thing that stays the same is nothing stays the same, which doesn't make any sense, but that's life. And
Yeah.
I've kind of come to terms with that. Like, yeah, I fought against it for a long time, like a long time. I was like, nah, I need to know what's coming up. Otherwise, like I was freaking out, internally, because I'm a dude and no dudes ever like express that, you know what I mean? You just kind of bottle it up. But now it's now I've kind of come to terms with the fact of, yeah, I've got zero control over pretty much everything, apart from, first of all, how I react to things, second of all, how I treat people, and third of all, how I treat myself. So it's like I'm just gonna focus on like those things, and everything else will just kind of be the way it's meant to be.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to do, I think.
Very
to
hard.
like, yeah.
Yeah, very hard. Do you?
I don't even know if I'm like fully accepting this at the moment. Like I know about it. Like I know everything changed and it's just how life is, but I have a hard time sometimes like accepting it. It takes it sometimes takes me a while to accept that things will change, but I usually adapt. So yeah.
Do you believe in fate?
Have faith.
Yeah, do you believe in fate?
What do you mean?
As in like everything is already like predetermined?
Mm, I don't know. I have the same opinion on that than with ghosts. Like I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's not real. So with that too, I'm like maybe not. And you?
I believe I'm more spiritual, like my mother. Not as crazy, but definitely crazy. I believe like in the universe, if you want to call it that, souls and all that, energy balance.
Yeah.
But whether things are already planned out, I don't think so. Right? I don't think I believe that, because I believe that purpose is a man-made thing, in the sense of, we kind of give ourselves and create these illusions of this is why we're here, to keep us going, rather than like this is legitimately the only reason why I walk the planet. And I think the point of life is to live, right, and to experience like everything, from like all the shit to all the good, to up and down, east and west, all the cultures, all the nations. I think that's the point. So do I believe in fate? I would probably lean towards no. But again, like I would never just be like, nah, that's bullshit. Like, because
Yeah, I have the same opinion about that. Like I lean more on the no side, but I'm also like maybe I wouldn't say like it's 100% like false. Like yeah.
yeah, how are we supposed to know, right? We're only blonde.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we're supposed to be dumb, so
Yeah. Well, I'm speaking for myself. Yeah, I'm not the smartest. But you're the one in university. Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky to be there since I'm blonde. So
Hey. Yeah, it's like we can't 100% disregard anything. Even I think what blows my mind is things that we consider fact, you know, of being true aren't actually 100% true. Like we don't know for certain.
Yeah, but yeah, we never know, I think. Like even with science, like science is also something that is true until proven false.
Yeah.
So like, what is true?
It's getting deep now. What is true? I think perception is reality. I think the way you perceive things and your perspective on things is reality. That's what you live in, right? And I think that's the only thing that's true, is how we perceive things rather than what it actually is.
Yeah, we all have a different truth, I think, and with that perspective.
Which actually is quite a lonely thought.
Yeah. Like before the podcast, I was actually reading for psychology classes, and it was talking about for existential questions, and one of them was actually loneliness, or I don't know if I translated the right way, because sometimes they change the word, even if it's the same word. Like even though you translate it, it might not be this word that they use for the theory in English. So, but yeah, one of them was like being lonely or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, loneliness is a funny thing, right? I don't think you're like, I think you can be lonely on your own, right? But I think that comes from a disconnection of you and yourself, right? From whatever character you're trying to play, you know, whether you're trying to put on like some sort of, you know, facade or impress someone or whatever, and then whoever you actually are, you can get that disconnect when you're on your own. But I think most people are the most lonely when they're in a crowd and they don't feel like they fit in.
Yeah, that is true, I think. Like at least for me, that is true.
Yeah, like this morning, right, for example, I went to the beach, I sat down on a rock or on a bit of driftwood and started writing, right? And I didn't feel lonely. There's no one else around. And I felt fucking fine. You know, in fact, it's probably the best I felt all day. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is fantastic. But if I go to the center of the city and I'll sit in a coffee shop and it's busy, right? I'm surrounded by all these people, but I'll probably feel lonely as shit.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I think there's different kinds of loneliness too.
In what way?
In a way, like you can feel lonely because you don't have a lot of people, or because you're not connecting with people, or because you're alone. Or it can be you feel lonely even though you have some people with you, or you have close relationships.
Would you say that would be a lack of connection then?
So then maybe there's three types of loneliness. Maybe like it can be you lack connection but you have people around you, or also you have connection with people but you also feel lonely. Because like even though you have connection with these people can never see life as you, or they will never understand you fully. So that can also be lonely, I think.
Yeah, I think that's another.
I don't explain it.
No. I'm following. I think that's another crazy point, right? Of like, no one's ever going to truly understand you 100%, because like there's always going to be some like residual thoughts, feeling, whether it's a voice in your head, whether it's just like emotion that you can't define, whether it's like something that you don't want to tell people or whatever it is, right? There's always going to be some percentage left for you. So you're the only person that truly knows who the fuck you are. And other people might know you 50%, 99%, you know, and that's a lonely thought of like, I'm kind of alone on this together. Like we're all alone in this together type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you have all, like you can, like people can like not know you fully because you don't show every part of yourself. But there's also the fact that people can't always like understand what you say fully because they see from their perspective. Like they have, maybe if I can say, they have like their glasses of life. And they can't put yours. So
that's a really interesting way of thinking about it, because you can't do anything about that, right?
No,
the only thing you
but
can
you
do
can, you can a bit, like I think when you like learn to know someone, you can start seeing life a bit their way.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you can, even if you don't want to, you'll always like see it from your perspective without consciously, like maybe even knowing you're seeing things from your perspective.
I
don't know if that,
I think coming together from different perspectives is like especially in like, you know, an open conversation rather than just like attacking as like an argument sake. If you attack it from like an open angle, like it's a really healthy position because you get to learn a different perspective, right? And you get to, you know, see the world through a different set of glasses.
Yeah.
It's kind of blown my mind. I guess this is why you're studying psychology and I'm not.
Yeah, but I think it's hard also like studying psychology because you are always facing things like that, and sometimes it's hard to face those things. But I think like as a young kid I was thinking about those kind of things anyway, so I was like, anyway, I'm gonna face those shit, so might as well study these things.
So. Why do you think you were thinking that as a young age? This is where it can kind of get spiritual.
You think why I was thinking those things?
Yeah, why do you think that?
I maybe went through a lot of things as a young kid. Like I moved when I was like 12 to for gymnastics. So I was like alone in a country I didn't know, like in a country, no, in another, country, I'm not sure, whatever, far away from my family, and in like a foster family because I was 12, so I wasn't gonna like rent an apartment by myself. So I was in a foster family for gymnastics, and I had my concussion like 2 months after that, so I kind of isolate myself for that year. And I think that really influenced my way of thinking, maybe. But before that too, I think so. Yeah. My dad is also a lot philosophical.
Sorry, say that again.
I said like my dad is also really philosophical. So we had like, I had conversations with him with those things maybe like when I was young.
Yeah, I think that helps. That definitely helps.
Yeah, maybe.
100%. But you know, kind of forced to grow up quick will pose a lot of questions to you just naturally and growing up in life, and then that usually reflects inwards, right? And you start asking those deeper questions towards yourself, even if that's just internalized in your own mind. Yeah, it's more of a necessity, right? You kind of have to do this.
Yeah, exactly. I faced like some hard things when I was like 12, 13, 14. So I think that influenced my way of thinking, and I kind of matured a lot during those years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, which is really difficult, right? When people have to grow up rather quickly. Yeah, okay, you gain a mature mind really early on, and you get to develop mentally, right, for the world and kind of see it the way it is. But you kind of skip out on that childhood, which is difficult because it will pose more, I would say, obstacles and challenges later on in life. Like I can relate to that really, really heavily. And that's something that I've had to mentally go back and try and like untangle what the fuck went down and forgive a couple people. And also try and, forgive myself for shit that I probably shouldn't have been doing. Or things that I probably shouldn't have been feeling, right? Just because you're a kid and are forced into a situation, and desperation, like we said, is a funny thing. It makes you do things that you wouldn't normally think that you would be able to do.
When you're in a bad mental state, like it makes you do a lot of things that you wouldn't normally do. I think it like makes your the worst part of yourself come out. So
yeah, it's like you ever heard of the story Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
I'm not sure. I think no. I don't think so.
It was basically the story that they based the Hulk, the Marvel character off. So they've got Dr. Jekyll, I believe it's this way around, is like a mad scientist, right? I think it's actually set in Paris. So it's like an old French story. Anyway, he's like a mad scientist, blah, blah, blah. And then at night, he becomes Mr. Hyde, which basically becomes a monster and will terrorize the streets and kind of be this like flicked character, like this switched character. And that's something I personally related to really, really heavily. And actually, I think I wrote about it. I think it's in the book, but I can't remember. Yeah, of like you switch, right? Like even making the example of Marvel, of like Bruce Banner. When he's the Hulk, he'll do things that he wouldn't want to do as Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I think we all have a bit of that in like how we are as people. I think.
Yeah. Do you know Jordan Peterson?
No.
He's what's that? Piss off. He's some sort of psychologist from Canada, right? And he basically says, he draws the example of a male, right? Because again, I believe that every problem in the world comes from a broken boy, because they're usually, given the power in their hands to destroy the world and no knowledge in their brain to be able to nurture it. So then usually they end up breaking things and causing more pain to other people rather than feeling it, figuring it out, and then passing on love, right? And he basically said, like, a dangerous man is not a bad man. Like, a dangerous man is what we need, but people that can then understand and control it, if that makes sense. And it kind of pulls on the old like Roman philosophy of like, you're like a poetic warrior, right? So you're obviously going to go fight, right? They probably didn't do it in the best ways because they're just taking over people's lands. But again, we can learn from it. Like, you're going to go fight, but then you're also going to sit down. You're going to figure these things out. You're going to think. You're going to philosophize. You're going to write. And I think that's in all of us, right? But at the moment, 2021 or 21st century or whatever, we kind of like have taken the two extremes and like shoved ourselves into this like very specific niche role of I'm going to sit at a desk 9 to 5 and not do anything.
Yeah, true.
That's where my brain goes anyway.
Yeah.
Usually sat on a beach somewhere. This usually sat on a beach somewhere. This could be just complete horse shit too. I have no idea.
Yeah, me too. Like, it depends.
So I got a couple questions because I'm obsessed with people's answers, and I think they're really cool. First one is, what's the greatest piece of life advice you've ever received?
That's a good question. I have like too many. I don't know, but maybe if I go with the conversation we had, like, you can never judge someone like based on whatever. Like, if you see someone, you can't, like, you don't know them, so yeah, you where no one is in the right place to judge people.
I think that's massive. I think everyone can take that.
Yeah, but that's not really an advice, but whatever.
Well, same thing. I'll let you have it. It's fine.
Okay. I have one point.
Oh, go on. What's the other one?
I just said that I have a point for the answer.
Okay. Yeah. You definitely have a point.
Yes.
What's the worst you've ever received?
I don't have a really good memory when it comes to those things, so it usually takes me a while to but like the worst advice I had, that's a really good question. I really don't know. Maybe like people who try to tell me what to do, like friends that try to tell me exactly what to do when I'm in a situation, but I'm not searching for advice, but only like support. Like, you can never say to someone what to do exactly because you're not in that situation. So those kinds of advice are usually the worst advice, I think.
Yeah, no one can tell you how to live your life. It's your life, right?
Yeah. Even though like sometimes I don't know if I was just like you can support someone, but like don't tell them what to do. I think it's the worst thing, like trying to tell someone exactly what to do. Because you don't know what's best for them and you don't know the whole situation or whatever.
Yeah, support first, right? Guidance if they ask for it, but never just tell them the destination, because most of the time, especially with their kids, most of the time they're probably going to do the opposite, just to rebel. They're going to kick off the other way. So just support the shit out of your people, give guidance where it's wanted, and like let them live. Be there to pick up the pieces if it fucks up.
Yeah.
I mean, the last one is, I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's on your hand, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is like 3 words you'd tell your younger self.
Yeah, it could be that. 3 words. It's 3. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'd tell myself to love myself first, because like and also like accept yourself as you are, because that was maybe something I had a hard time doing, when I was younger. Like you try to fit in or whatever because you're told that's not uh that's not how you're supposed to be, or that's not good or whatever.
Don't
But
fit in.
it's usually yeah
Nice.
that will also be another 3 words.
That's nice. I like that one.
To not fit in.
Yeah. Tell people to be outcast. Do your own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
that's
because
fun.
that's when you're that's for
Well, do your own thing.
don't be not do your own thing. But that I think that's when you're at you optimize your potential when you do that.
Yeah, I think so. Like you start to figure out who you are, right? And that's the only thing that we need to know. Like I think there's 2 tasks we have on this world. Number 1 is figure out who the fuck you are, and number 2 is never forget it. Is it?
Yeah, and I act accordingly, because if you don't, well, you'll be sad.
Yeah, start messing you up, playing characters that we don't want to play. Next thing you know, you're not feeling too great.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why some people are sad nowadays, because they try to fit in the mold or in society's norms, and that's really not how everyone's going to be happy. So I personally couldn't like work from 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 or whatever. I'll like kill myself before. So like I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, that's something that I definitely had to learn the hard way. But it's okay. Whether you learn it the easy way, the hard way, you're going to be given a lesson. So that's all right. Maybe because I'm blonde and dumb, I needed to learn the hard way. But
maybe it's the same for me. So
no. Give over.
Because I'm blonde and dumb.
That's not what I'm saying. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm not calling you out here. But it's definitely a really important point, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, what are the things that made you because you said you learned the hard way?
Where do I start? Like, what do you want to know?
I don't know, like maybe one thing that made, like one experience that made you realize that
I think I grew up with just my mum, right? And I didn't see my dad that much. I saw him like once every 6 to 8 weeks, for maybe a weekend. And I think one of the biggest things that I started struggling with and then eventually spiraled off into other things was like, the whole concept of man of the house. And I have to look after my mother. I saw her in like a pretty abusive relationship for a while. And, you're allotted to, shit going down when you were like 12, 13, 14, which is kind of weird because I was 13. And fuck it, I'll tell you the story. Like they weren't together. They split up. He carried on being abusive. And he came back one day and parked on the driveway and revved the shit out of his engine and blasted the stereo. So the music was like unbearably loud. And I was just sat on the couch watching some telly. My mum wasn't in. I was just like alone in the house. I was 13 and I was like, what the fuck is that? Kind of looked through the front window and he's just there like gripping hold of the steering wheel, literally looking like he's ready to like punch through the fucking door. And I'm like, okay, kind of watch for a couple of seconds. Again, he's like gripping hold of the steering wheel like he's trying to rev it like a motorbike. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to the kitchen, I grab the biggest knife I have, and I stand by the door, and I will never forget the feeling, because occasionally it still fucks me up. I was like, if this dude opens his car door, right, I know exactly what he's going to be trying to do. I will go outside and I will take him. I'll take him down. He will be no more. Right. And I kind of made that pact with myself of like, okay, I will sacrifice the rest of my life to be able to like protect my mother, although she wasn't in the house at the time. He never opened his door. He reversed out the driveway. He drove off. And as far as I'm aware, to this day, there's been no other contact. I don't know if like someone was looking out for him, someone was looking out for me, or someone was looking out for us both. But yeah, he never got out. Obviously, he decided it wasn't worth it. And I put that kind of knife back. And that feeling of I need to do it, I need to be the quote unquote the protector, you just spiraled off. And you know, mates, I don't know why. I'm like I said, a bit spiritual, so it might be because I think I'm an old soul and have been told that by a lot of people along the way that are spiritual. But it might be because of that. It might be coincidental. Who knows? But a lot of people have usually turned to me for protection or guidance along the way, whether it's been mates. I got two younger sisters who are 10 and 8 years younger than me. And then obviously the story I just told you with my mother, we're like best friends. So I lean on her for guidance and she leans on me for guidance, which I think is a beautiful relationship. But which it kind of developed into that, right? But as a kid, I think naively, I was like, no, I need to like do something and protect people or whatever. And I'm like, I'm 13. You know, I'd probably.
Yeah, that's really young.
Yeah, it's difficult as well because growing up in Manchester, a lot of people grow up very quickly. You know, it's a big city. You know, there's a lot of things around. A lot of people carry like knives and shit, which isn't the best of things to be doing. And it's, you know, it kind of is what it is. I wouldn't change it, but I also see a lot of problems within it. And that's, I think that's the main thing of I do not have the responsibility to kind of protect everyone. And honestly, it's a daily thing. Like I will battle with that daily of like, I want to help everyone, but I can't.
Yeah. Right? I can relate to you because like I didn't have a crazy story like that, but like I tried to be there for everyone. So I kind of relate to what you're saying, but not the story, obviously. So, but
no, like you know, we all empathize with feelings, right? That's how we connect is through the feeling. Like stories change. Like I love sharing stories and hearing people's stories because that's how we connect with the feeling behind it. You know what I mean? We just had different experiences to take us to that same destination. And yeah, like it's a really rough thing to come to terms with. Like one of the first things I was told when I got into the whole coaching scene, and I've tried to battle against it for like 11 years now, is like you can't save them all. And I'm like,
that's true.
But I want it. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I totally understand. Yeah.
But it's true. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You know, I can meet you halfway. Exactly. I can't like come over the road, take you off your side of the road and put you in the middle and be like, okay, now we're at the middle. It's like, I can only ever meet you halfway. You know, it's the other person's responsibility to meet you halfway, which is a rough thing that comes to terms with.
Yeah, because sometimes like you want to help someone so bad, and if they don't want to help themselves, then you can't really do anything.
Yeah.
So
that's probably my biggest thing, I would say. Either that or you're allowed to feel. Like
you're allowed to feel.
Feel, yeah.
Yeah. I think that is a big thing for men in general in our society, like how we educate boys and men in general.
Yeah.
Like a lot don't allow themselves to feel things or to express their feelings, at least. Like,
Yeah.
and that is sad.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really agree. Like naturally, I'm like very emotional person. Not in a sense of I'm just crying 24/7, but in a sense of I feel everything. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you can walk past someone on the street and, you know, they're crying or whatever. I'm like, I feel that. I'm like, I'm really sorry that, you know, you're having a shit day. That will kind of fuck me up for a little bit. Like I feel for a lot of people, and you know, naturally my kind of frequency upstairs is a little bit lower than most people. So my dad always used to say we were thinkers rather than we were just hereditary depressed. He would just say we're just thinkers, which I kind of like, because again, it goes back to the analogy of the glasses, right? I can like look at the world in a different set of glasses, which is quite cool. And inevitably, like it's meant I can write some things, which is then kind of evolved into a job, which is cool. But yeah, I would say if I was to relate it more widespread, so more lads could relate to it, I would say it's okay to feel. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good statement.
Thank you. It's taking a
You're
while to
welcome.
get here.
Yeah, of course. I can believe you. It must have been hard, so you can be proud of yourself
I
for that.
appreciate it. Like you know, it's all hard, right? And it's we've all got stories. And those stories aren't objectively ranked of like, you know, this person's more hurt or learned more things than this person. Like, no, it's like, you know, share, don't compare. And I think by sharing things, you know, you build connection and you learn and you grow. And I think that connection will always be there. Yeah, okay, it needs to be nurtured to develop. And if you just leave it, then it might not be as strong as someone that you see every day. But being able to empathize with people is really important, and we do that through stories. So I just want to say thank you for sharing yours.
Well, thank you for letting me share some of my experiences.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate us doing it in English because my French is not the best.
Do you know some words in French?
No, I know nothing.
It's okay.
Like legitimately nothing. I might be able to count to 5. And everyone knows
that's
bonjour.
A good start.
Right.
Yeah, that's still a good start.
Or je m'appelle. Like I know that. But no, that's it. So I know a little bit of sign language.
Of what?
Sign language.
Sound language?
Sign.
Oh, sign. Yeah. I know a few things, but I probably know less than you know about sign language.
Do you guys learn different sign languages in Canada?
No. Like I just, it's the same. Yeah. I know like 5 things maybe.
Oh, wow.
And I am not sure even. What?
That's interesting.
It's like 5 words. Like it's nothing.
Hey, what
do you know in sign language?
What do I know? I had a hearing impaired athlete that I coached for a while, and we like predominantly used to train in sign. So she like taught me up. Like I coached her and she taught me sign. And you know, I saw her 3 times a week, so you end up picking things up. There's some things that obviously I don't know. I'm not fluent, and it's been a while because we no longer train together, unfortunately. So I'm a little bit out of practice.
Yeah.
But I can like pick things up, and I know the alphabet. I know like how to describe things and have a good day and
Okay,
hello, how are you?
Okay, so you know a lot of things.
Well, yeah, like I would coach in some. Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
impressive.
I appreciate it. Well, I can't exactly like sign to you because it would be like New Zealand Sign Language because they're different as well.
Oh, they're different.
Yeah, like
Oh.
New Zealand is different to the UK, and then America, their alphabet. I'm not sure if Canada and America has the same sign language. It would make sense if it was, but I'm not sure if they do. I know America, their alphabet is on one hand. Over here, it's on two hands. In the UK, it's on two hands. Like, it's complicated shit.
Really?
I'm a practical guy. I work with my hands. I don't sit down and, well, I do sit down and write, but I'm not at university. Mate, again, thank you very much. I'm sure we can chat shit for hours, but I'm not going to take any more of your time. I know it's precious. So thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you for inviting me.
No, always.
I really liked it.
Well, if you ever get on the wrong plane or boat and end up in somewhere around New Zealand, like hit me up. We'll go grab a coffee. We shoot some shit and more than likely end up in a gym.
Perfect.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Take it easy. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you.
Have a good day.
You too.
See you later.